All right. Corner this, we're live. So, welcome from the crossroads of America, a 1 hour talk show shooting with disabilities. But we could go off topic to guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page if people want to support me, or a one-time payment at PayPal. All the information is down below there. And I think that's about all I got to say for it. There's a whole bunch of stuff down there that I have links to. So, yeah, so let's see who I got in the chat. First in tonight was Gun Loving Grandpa. Then Rich White, Guns and Barbecue, Southpaw RX, Sabrina's here, the Gun Snob's here. So that's how. It's great to see you all. All right, my panel so far. Up here in my corner, I got willed and well armed. And how you doing?
Good. Thank you, Rick.
No problem. Then next to him, I got Guns and Barbecue. How you doing?
Doing all right. Thank you for the invite.
Then I got the one and only Squib Load. How you doing?
Good evening, everybody.
All right. Then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark. How you doing?
I am doing outstanding. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Then we got the one and only Night Strike.
How's it going?
Good. Then I don't know if he's got his connections figured out. Then we got New York Outcast. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Okay. Good to see everybody. That's my panel for tonight. Raphael's joined us in the chat there. Good to see you. All right. I want to know I live out in the country, and I think they were having protests and stuff up in Indianapolis. That's about a 2-hour drive from me. But I don't know where you guys live. Are you situated in it? But where I was going this is, have you done anything? Being disabled, have you guys worried about it happening where you're at or going into it? Or have you changed what you're carrying, like gone to a bigger gun or carrying more magazines or anything like that? I mean, like myself, I ain't doing much different. I'm still carrying my 380, but I got a new gun on my radar because, I got the 380 EZ because of the arthritis. They've got the Performance Center EZ in the 9mm with the gold barrel. So
Nice.
So I think
we knew this was going to happen eventually.
What?
We knew it was coming.
Oh yeah. So I'm not going to get it like next week. This is going to be a few months down the road, or even next year. But that's on my list. So, but anyway, so I'm still carrying that around here, like I normally do, in my outside the waistband holster on my right side. Luckily here in Indiana, if you got a carry permit, you can carry either open or concealed. I normally wear a loose fitting shirt, so it either goes over it. If the gun shows, I don't worry about it, because I can do it. The only thing I haven't done anything. I just carry the spare magazine. I only got 2 magazines for it. You seen the price of magazines for that damn thing? They ain't cheap. They're about $22 each. So I think that was the cheapest I saw. I think the average is around 28.
Where were you looking at?
Do what?
Where were you looking for magazines at? I know if you get on eBay sometimes, like for Ruger EC9, a while back, I found a 2-pack of magazines for like $30 brand new, and they were normally about $25 magazines. So every once in a while, you might find a good deal on there.
But
the 380 EZ is gonna cost more for the mag because it's got that easy to load follower. That would be my thought. You're gonna have a couple more processes involved in manufacturing versus. Plus, right now you can probably only get factory mags. I doubt ProMag or Metgar or ASC or any of them have aftermarket mags for it yet.
I haven't found an aftermarket for it.
Another thing I noticed when you buy on eBay, the maximum they make are 10 round, right?
Yeah, that's another issue is that it limits it to 10 rounds on eBay. But with like that EC9,
Yeah,
it's a single stack. I say, is the EZ a double stack?
No, it's only 8 rounds.
That's what I thought.
One in the chamber. You know, that's why I wanted more mags. Because I mean, really, with 2 mags, I've only got 17 shots. You know,
That Fowler is like the ones on the buck mark that sticks out, so you can just grab it with your other hand. Is that what that? Where it sticks through, and you can actually pull the tab down to lower the Fowler.
Yeah. The EZ's got the same thing. They're thinking about the arthritis, not just in the operation of the firearm, but in loading the mags.
Yeah, that's nice, and you don't have to buy, a mag loader.
Yeah. So anyway, that back to what I was saying with the conditions right now is, that's. I mean, if I would have carried extra mags if I had them, just in case. But I said there's nothing happening around here like that, so I wasn't that worried too much. I got to go to Jasper, and that's the biggest town near me. I think there's about 15,000 population. I think I could be wrong. I have to look it up. I never really looked it up, but that's the biggest place I go to. I got to go there Friday, do my monthly shopping, and good old Walmart, and you never know what happens. That Walmart, I've mentioned before. When I go there, I always look around before I get out of the vehicle, and getting in, I'm always looking around too because it takes me a while to get inside the damn vehicle. With the way I'm
the same way at Walmart. Absolutely.
What was that?
I'm real cautious about Walmart and the traffic there and where I park. And, they got those, all the handicap spots are always taken at Walmart and trying to find the right one where, nobody's going to block my door, where I can take the wheelchair out and put it together.
Yes. Yeah. Same here. I mean, yeah, they are. They're most of it, you're right. But I sometimes it depends if my back's playing up really bad. Sometimes I'll drive around for 10, 15 minutes to get a handicap spot, Other times I'll just find an open spot and take it. So, but when I take my own, I haven't taken my own scooter in a long while because it sounds silly, but my little scooter only has a little dainty girly basket on it, And normally, when I was living in Rhode Island, I would grab a hand cart, not hand, one of those handheld baskets. I would take one of those around with me, and I could put my groceries in there, and wasn't too bad. But they don't have them at this Walmart. The manager refuses to buy any because people keep stealing them. Because I asked them, I said, "Why come we got no hand baskets?" He goes, "People keep stealing them, so I ain't buying no more." So.
Rick, recently I saw somebody in a wheelchair and she was pushing a full-size shopping cart with that wheelchair.
Well,
she had a look of determination on her face.
I would actually talk. Funny thing is, I was thinking about that today because I was outside because I said I haven't used it for a while, so I put it on the battery charger to make sure it's still okay. And I was going to run it around the yard and up and down the street and make sure see if it needs oiling up or anything because it's been sitting there all winter. And we're almost in the summer now. And I was thinking about that is taking because I can steer it with one hand.
I'm in a manual chair and I do it with the full cart. It's pretty easy. Like you said, you could just put your hand a little bit if it's your left hand, you put your hand a little bit on the right hand side and it'll go straight. You just kind of find your center of gravity when you push, and then you push just your wheelchair with one arm.
Yeah.
And when you leave the place and you're going downhill, you just grab hold of both hands and you just ride it.
Yeah. That's. I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking about putting my thing back on the back of my truck so I can carry my scooter. I drive it up on. Well, I walk it up on the ramp and carry it that way. And that normally when I take that, I'll park way away from the front of the store because the time you get off it and load down the thing and unload the cart and stuff, I don't want all cars around me. But then I can, drive over. That thing is fast. My shopping cart is fast. I mean, not my shopping cart. My scooter is fast. So I've been told to slow down in Walmarts before with it because I go, So. Oh, anyway, I'm carrying on. I'm going way off topic there, what I was talking about. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't find much trouble here in this part of Indiana where I'm at. But how about you? Who are we going to start with here? Let's start with well armed.
I did put a fun stick for my Glock 26, so I've got normally the 10 round mags, and then I got a +2, and then so now I got a 33 round in the car.
Oh, okay, all right, but that's about all you did was a couple, those extra mags there.
Yeah, so I've got just an extra mag. I just didn't have room in my console, so it's rattling around under my feet.
Okay. All right. How about you, Guns and Barbecue? You do anything different?
I just grabbed an extra magazine. I carry a 1911 10 millimeter, so I figure that's pretty adequate for whatever. But just to have the extra ammo, I grabbed an extra magazine. I live about 30 minutes south of Erie, PA, and actually I had to go there Monday, and they had their own little kerfuffle on Sunday evening where some businesses had windows busted out, things like that. So because of that, I figured, I'll just grab an extra magazine just in case.
Okay. 10 millimeter 1911, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, that's a nice gun. That's a nice round too.
I absolutely love that gun.
Yeah. All right, Squib, what about you?
I asked the question, why would you purposely go to a place where they're having issues? Now, some people might say, I had business there. Okay, I get that. Even though almost everything's closed, okay. And then there's other people that might live there. Why did you choose to live there? Oh, well, I like the downtown, or, well, I go to school there, so I want to live near school, or my job's there and I don't want to commute. All right, I get that. But now that this has happened, are you going to rethink your decision to live there? Most of the country doesn't live or have any business going to the places where these riots are happening. So most of the country isn't even affected by this. They're just watching it on TV. But I don't understand why somebody would want to live there or want to go there unless they absolutely had to. And I'm not questioning your, whatever business you had. It ain't none of my business why you were there. But I'm just saying, are there people that are going out of their way to go to these places?
Well, for me, it was a doctor's appointment. I didn't have much choice in it. But I used to drive trucks through New York City and stuff, and every time I start getting close to the city, I'm just like, it's nothing but concrete. And I would ask people that live there, why do you live here? What about it appeals to you? And they just don't know anything different. To them, that's paradise.
Yeah. Well, so I take it that you don't do anything different because you don't go to those places, Squid. Is that what you're saying?
I really don't have much reason to go into the 3 cities in Michigan where there have been some riots and whatnot. I'm not saying I've never been there. I'm not saying there aren't things there. But I really don't have any reason to go. And the nearest city to me where there might be a riot, there isn't going to be. Now, I don't understand. Maybe it's different in other places, I guess. I mean, as many places I've visited, I shouldn't say I don't understand. I do understand. Like here, in some of the more, shall we say, urban cities, there are no stores. There's nothing to vandalize. You have to go to the suburbs. Well, they don't want to go to the suburbs because that's too far to drive. Not to mention, people in the suburbs have got guns, legally owned, purchased, carried guns. So, and that's just it. A lot of people here that even work in the city or the cities that are around here, a lot of them live in the country or the suburbs because they want to get away from it. They don't want their family raised around that. They don't want to have to deal with that when they're not at work. You know, so I got to understand if you had to go into work or go into the city for business or for your job or where, but at the point where they're rioting, you might want to call in sick or so if your city has a department store for them to, if they've got a Target, you know, in the big city, I guess I'd be worried. But around here, Target won't set foot in the big cities here.
All right. What about you, Patriot? You doing anything different?
I started laughing about the stores. There is no stores, like Squib said. Flint had some things going on, but the county sheriff actually, I guess, set it up, and they took it out of downtown and went over to the area where the mall and all the stores and everything are. That most of them are, I don't know if they're shut down or not. I don't go over there much, but that's where they actually had their little protest. But it was a protest. And it was actually, from what I know, they didn't have any issues over there. But
over in Flint Township,
it's
okay.
outside,
right.
over by the valley and all that stuff. That's where they had it. They took it out of downtown where it would have been bad.
They didn't give them Flint water to drink, did they?
Yeah,
well, that's just it, though. If they had it downtown, they could just push them all into the river.
But as far as anything different, I've kind of changed it up with the flying flags. I fly a lot of the Gaston flag a little more. Usually it's the Marine Corps flag and the American flag and stuff, but a bunch of the more. I've got neighbors that are really squishy, so it scares them when I fly those. As they call them. They call them Confederate flags, and it's like, what are you whatever. But as far as carrying and all that kind of stuff, I just do the same thing. I do have a lot more magazines loaded, but it ain't no big deal. But where I'm at, I'm close enough to everything, but I'm far away. In my little town, I heard today that there was 5 protesters standing on a corner, and usually with signs and stuff, everybody honks and that kind of stuff. Nobody was honking at them, and they were kind of like train wrecks standing out there trying to do whatever. But as far as that around me, there's no big issue. I mean, everybody around here knows I'm blind, so that's kind of a it hasn't bothered me for the last couple of weeks, but my daughter is home now, and so now it's obviously a little different when it's not just me. If it's me, I don't care. I'm pretty well set up, but when you have a little teenager that's might not be as aware of bad situations, but she actually just got back from Tennessee, so they took a trip down there and went to like Land of the Free and stuff. Yeah, they could actually go into stores, and so it was a little different for her. But other than that, I carry the same thing right now. I switch it up between the Colt New Agent and the little J frame 38 special, but it's either a 45 or the 38.
Okay.
But other than that, it's no big deal. I don't.
All right. Well, we got in the chat. Vanessa said they had a pizza delivery guy robbed in town last night. 2 criminals with baseball bats. Okay. Now,
should have been a defensive gun use.
See, to me, if somebody's swinging a baseball bat, if I saw it coming, unless they snuck up on them and didn't see them, but that to me, if I saw somebody with a baseball bat, I would take that as they're threatening my life, and I would pull the old weapon out, Then Patrick says, my nearest Target on Saturday closed at 4 p.m. and boarded up the windows because the protest 1 mile away in Frisco, Texas. Oh, see, Patrick's in that Dallas, Fort Worth, outskirt area or whatever. So he's having some protests down there. So anyway, it's well, anyway, where are we at? Night Strike. Are you doing any carrying any different?
Nope. I'm just carrying the P320 compact in 357 SIG and loving it. I always carry an extra mag with me in case I need it. And that's it.
Yeah. Now, isn't that the gun that you can change barrels on?
Yes, that's why I originally bought it in 40 Smith & Wesson, and I dropped the barrel. I took the barrel out and dropped the 357 SIG barrel in because guess what? In the SIGs, you can do that. That's why I also have a P229. I got it in 40. I just dropped the 357 SIG barrel in, and hey, guess what? I'm good to go.
Okay.
So, yeah, yes, I know.
Nice round.
357 SIG is a little more expensive than 40, but that's why I use the 357 SIG for defensive ammo, and I use the 40 for training for practice.
Oh, okay. All right. What about you, New York? You do anything different?
Just added extra mags. Made sure I had pepper spray on me. Try to avoid downtown areas where it's known to be congested. There have been cars just blocking roads and people out standing around and stuff. So try to stick around the outskirts and avoid the issues.
Yeah. Now, I don't have a problem with the protest itself. It's the looting and rioting that worries me.
Right. I mean, I'm the same way. If you want to peacefully protest, knock yourselves out. Protest all you want to your heart's content, as long as you do it peacefully. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But once you let parts of your group go out and start ganging up on people and beating the hell out of people, like as a group of 30 people, or you go and start, breaking into businesses and looting, then I have a problem, and I really don't care if you get shot with live ammunition, tear gas, or rubber bullets. I prefer you get shot with live ammunition. But hey, you know what? The cops are going to do whatever the cops are going to do.
Yeah. Oh, Sabrina says even in the Netherlands they've had protests because of George. Floyd, didn't he?
Floyd.
Yeah, my mind went blank there. Yeah, well, way over in the Netherlands they're having protests about it. So yeah, I mean, what happened was totally wrong. I see they upgraded to the second-degree murder or whatever. Plus the other 3 were arrested as accessories after the fact or something. So
and they should all be held up to the full extent of the law, and they shouldn't be given any kickbacks or any preferential treatment because they did nothing to stop it. And the problem is they were there watching it happen, and that can't. In situations like this, you can't do that. It's you lock the guy, you get the guy. You cuff him, you throw him in the back of a vehicle. You don't put your knee on his neck. You don't do anything. If you got 3 other people there, they should help you throw him in the back of the car, and just so you can throw the keys away. Okay? But, in that situation, he didn't need to put his knee on his neck. The guy was already on the ground.
Yeah, I know. But we're going to have to see what happens. Anyway, so after all that, so everybody's basically, I mean, from what I can see here is that the 6 of us or 7 of us here, mainly extra mags is what we're doing. So, did you see Rich White out there in the chat? I mean, carrying a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 compact 40 loaded 135 grain round, same power as the 357 SIG, and ammo is cheaper. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personally, myself, if I was using 357 SIG, I would reload them. Because wouldn't it be cheaper in the long run to reload them?
It would, but the problem with 357 SIG is compared to 40 Smith & Wesson is 357 SIG has a neck down part in the cartridge. So
it's just like loading a rifle ammo.
It'd be similar, yeah, but the neck on the cartridge is really, really short compared to 223, 556, or 308 or 30-06. I mean, it's really too small. So yeah, you could reload it. I don't see a problem as long as you can get it straightened out properly. I don't see a problem with reloading. The only problem I've heard with reloading 357 SIG is it's a little harder. It's a little harder to get the crimp on the cartridge than it would be with other calibers. It's harder to do the crimp. That's all I've heard.
Yeah. Rich says, going totally off topic here, but as we started talking, well, not really. We started talking about it. I went off topic, but he goes, it's going to be tough to prove second-degree murder. They have to prove intent. That's why they charged him a third degree initially.
Yeah, I heard people complaining about not charging them first-degree murder. I'm like, well, there's no intent there. There's no premeditation.
Yeah, I think going to second degree, as much as I hate to say it, from what we saw, he deserved it. But is it a political move to try to calm the crowd?
It's probably partly political, but I think there's a whole reason they put a manslaughter charge in there too, and that's because they know whatever they charged him with on the max, it's going to get pleaded down, and he probably won't go to trial or anything. He'll just plead out and take the manslaughter charge and try and avoid trial.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. And the other three will make deals too. Some of them might not even go to jail. So you never know. We'll have to wait and see how long it takes for them to get to jail or get to court or whatever. I don't know. All right. My next question, we touched on it a little bit already, I think. Right? Is I wanted to know, I was trying to find some stuff to talk about, and somebody's already talked about it in the chat, is like with my arthritic hands, like with the 380, it has those things on the side where I can pull down with my thumb or my fingernail on my thumb to load the magazine, which makes it a lot easier for me. Or like when I'm loading everything else, I use how do you pronounce it? The uploader or whatever it's called.
Yep.
That thing you put on top and you just push it on and it pushes the next one down. You keep on doing it. Upula or something it's called, I think.
Lula?
Yeah, I think that's it. That's what I use because I said I can't use even. I tried loading the 380 without using the thing on the side, and I find it difficult with my thumbs. The arthritis in my thumbs lately has got worse. So I've got to have help with that. So do you guys have problems loading? Do you use any kind of loaders to load your ammo? We'll start with you.
Do. I'm partly quad, so I have a real hard time. I can't load more than 5 rounds in a 9mm, and I've got a loader that does my 5.56 and 300 blackout, and you line them up in this thing, and then you push the whole thing up against your belly, and it does okay, but it takes a long time. I'd almost rather load 10 rounds at a time and manual than have to deal with those that type of loader.
I've hang on, I found a thing called the Taylor magazine loader for loading regular ammo where you can do it one-handed with the mag. And hang on, let me put the link in the chat here. And I said it looked pretty interesting. Whereas you put the line in, you got the mag, you push down on the cartridge, lean the clip forward, and it loads it somehow. I don't know, but it looked pretty easy.
Here's something that might interest you, Rick. I had seen this probably a few years back, but you take all your 223 or 5.56 ammo whichever it is that you're using, you can just dump it into this loader, and it will actually sort it to where it's being loaded into the magazine properly. So, whenever you do finally get an AR-15, from what I understand, with the way this works, it drops down the follower, and then it just loads a magazine all at once, and you're good to go. It's very quick.
Yeah.
They've got one at my gun club. It's electric, I believe, and you could just go in there and load up 6 mags and shoot all 6 mags if you wanted to.
Oh,
yeah, they're pretty slick.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool that your range has one for you guys to use.
Yeah, I've never used it. I always forget about it, but it's out there every time. I don't know why I've never used it. It's probably loud as a jackhammer with my luck.
Yeah,
I try helping the economy. I pay the neighbor kid to fill them.
well,
Not that I trust them.
Yeah. Do you have any troubles with Night Strike or anything? Do you use anything, or you use good old manpower?
Good old manpower.
There you go. What about you, New York?
No, I've always just kind of manhandled it, I guess. Some can be tricky, but I guess I've come accustomed to them. I've looked into a couple loaders, but I'm cheap, so I'm always looking at the cheap ones. And after talking with salespeople and people that use them, they tell me it's such a pain, kind of like a pain in the butt anyway. It's not much better than just loading them, so I've just kept loading them by hand.
But the Lula loader will do other rounds. He'll get up as large as a 45 with no problem.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I use mine for 9mm and up.
And he'll do single stack and double stack if you have the double stack one.
Yes, yeah, they will.
Little fun fact: Ruger P95s back in the day actually came with a little metal loader to help assist you with loading your magazines. I found that those loaders basically will fit majority of your 9mm double stack magazines. So if you're looking for a cheap loader or something, you can probably find them for a couple bucks if you browse around. Because like I said, it's just a piece of metal bent into the shape of a magazine to fit over it and all that. But like I said, I used them on CZ mags, I think SIG mags if I remember correctly. Smith mags, all kinds of stuff. Beretta 92 mags.
And Canics come with the free one as well.
Yeah. So, all right.
It's plastic.
Oh, Night Strike. We lost Night Strike. So, Squib, do you use anything to load your mags or good old manpower with the old thumbs there?
We have several mag loaders in the house, but we don't use them yet. One day.
All right. Always, that's the prepper in you, getting ready. You never know.
Well, I mean, they make good stocking stuffers, so that's how we ended up with 2 of them, and then a few of the others, like was said, come in the case with the gun, but they're still wrapped in plastic. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be considered a prep because every day I feel older, so I know it's coming.
Now, do you guys use stripper clips, like with your AR mags and stuff?
Only when I'm demonstrating to somebody how a stripper clip works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've got a bunch of all that stuff in the back, and I did the same thing. Showed my kid, hey, this is how this works. This is how you used to have to do it. But
I bought an ammo can of ammo the one time, and every round in there came on a stripper clip. So that was about the only time I did it.
I've never used any of those stripper clip at all, so I couldn't tell you. So.
Yeah, whether the weapon's got an internal box magazine or it's been modified to accept the detachable box, some Milsurp guns have got a slot cut in the top there, and you can just mount the stripper clip in there, and you can load up your mag that way. It's intended for an internal non-detachable box, or at least not without tools magazine. But there are some that you can change out, or you can still remove the mag. But on the AR, you just need a little tool that comes in the bandolier with all your ammo that you just slide into the back of the magazine, and that makes your strip clip. The same thing with M14 mags.
All right. Oh, Sabrina's got a question out there. I can answer it, unless Patriot knows more than I do. She goes, "Well, how come we don't hear from Blind Shooter anymore?" From what I understand, he's doing a lot of work, overtime, and everything else. So that's why he's not on the show, because he's either working or sleeping
or working out. That crazy guy doing marathons and stuff.
Yeah, he's training for marathons and stuff like that. Plus, he does a lot of work. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what he does. I think it's got something to do with the fire department or something like that. I'm not sure, but he seems to be working a lot. That's where he's at. And somebody in the chat said our other missing guy, Kingpin, he is still alive, but he's working. He's doing a lot. He's got a lot of work on. That's why he's been missing for a while.
He's got a lot of renovations to do on department stores and other downtown businesses.
Yeah. So okay. So I mean, what else are we gonna? What's time? How are we doing for time? We're doing pretty good. So all right, you guys got anything else you want to talk about? Oh, I got another topic if you're interested. We touched on this one before, but we got a couple of new people in here, so you might get some more answers. Is your range set up for somebody with disabilities? Or is it hard to get in and out of there and use them and stuff? So, how about you, Well Armed?
Yeah, it really is. But I went through 7 ranges to find this one range, but it's got a good handicap parking, close to the door. You know, nobody really misuses it. Then out of the 27 lanes, only 3 of them are wheelchair accessible. Are only and one whole group of 9 lanes is police only. So there's only 2 lanes for me. So if there's like a short lady already there, they'll pretty much move her off, since I'm a member, and most, anybody else, they can shoot anywhere else except the real short ones. Yeah. But what it makes it accessible is the where you recoil the target back to you, it's about 5 foot off the ground, and I just can't see the plate and how many yards out it is. But besides that, I went to one range and it had a metal grating system underneath everybody, so all your bullets fell through and you couldn't reload at all. So I hated that place. Not that I'm a reloader, I was just stuck in a grate.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Wednesday don't let you pick up your brass. I wasn't over keen on those either.
Yeah, that should be illegal. I mean, that's just you're not even notified before you go in there. They're going to steal your brass.
Yeah, but then if you go out in their store, they got bags and bags of reused brass for sale.
Yeah,
bastards.
Now, is that so that people won't fall or something? I mean, is that a reason, or is it because they want to keep it?
They keep it. They recycle it. They said that if you talk to the manager, you can request him to open up the grading system to pull out your brass, but nobody ever does it, so they just keep all your brass.
Yeah, then they bag it up and resell it. So yeah, a lot of ranges do that. Yeah, the indoor range I used in Rhode Island before I joined the outdoor range. Yeah, they had, as you said, handicap parking. They had a ramp to get in the door, and stuff like that. And they had a couple of. They only had one. It only had 12 lanes. They only had one lane that was low for for wheelchair. Because I can stand, but even now I take a chair with me to sit in, because I can only stand for maybe a half hour. Then I got to sit down for a little while. So I used to sit on a chair in the handicap place and shoot. If anybody had came in with a wheelchair, I would have moved lanes and let them have it. I could go to the other ones. I stand up and shoot, sit down to reload and all that kind of stuff. I would have done that because I'm just a nice guy. But that range lets you keep your brass. They would let you pick it up. So unless, because sometimes when you're sitting there on the table and you're shooting, it hits the table and bounces forward into the actual lane. They won't let you go in there and get it. So, which is understandable when you got a couple of guys down there shooting. You never know what's going to happen. So, but anybody else have? How about you, Guns and Barbecue? Does your range help with disabled?
I say I was just going through my head, thinking of all the ones around me, and most of them, well, heck, the one when you get there, I mean, there's not really any designated handicap parking or anything, and then you're going up probably 20 stairs to get up to the shooting area. There's no ramp or anything like that for anybody that's in a wheelchair. So if you wanted to get up there, you could go all the way through the mud and muck and everything and come off from the side, but that's a big fiasco. Seems like a lot of the ranges around me are just sludging through mud and muck, so I'm not sure how that is for folks in chairs like that. But I know for me, in addition to my vision, the hydrocephalus messed with my balance as well. So there's days where my legs they don't seem to want to work the way they normally would. And so there's some days where if I was going to have to go through mud and muck and my feet are getting sucked into the ground, it's not going to be any good news. Recently, I found out about a range near me that would actually let you drive out to the targets, which is also nice because they have, I think, a 500-yard range there. So that helps with, how long you're holding up the range, going out and switching targets if you're shooting out that far. And as far as indoor ranges, there's only one that I can think of, and that's 35 minutes from me. And last time I was there, I think you had to go down 4 stairs to get down into the indoor range area, and no ramp either for that.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of ranges don't seem to cater for the disabled. But according to the hang on, let me find it here. The NRA, I know it's a bad thing, but some of their stuff, there is approximately 74 million individuals identified as disabled who shoot. So, you think there'd be more people would be more when they build ranges would do that. I can understand some of these ranges that have been around for years, but you think they would have done modification if possible to make it handicap accessible. But
well, that's my range here. The outdoor range has been here forever. I mean, since I was a kid. They've changed things around and stuff, and you used to be able to just drive out, and it was, I guess, gravel, like a gravel driveway or whatever, where you could pull out, and get to the tables and everything. But normally you have to go through the building and then, down a couple steps and around and whatever. But they will let you if you can't walk or you're disabled or whatever, drive out to to the tables and that. But their indoor range is new, so I'm sure any new construction, it's all one level and stuff. So the doors got to be wide enough and everything.
Yeah, I mean, like the outdoor range I belong to, the gun club I belong to in Rhode Island, they used to let me drive right up to. If I was shooting from 7 yards, I could drive my truck right up to the 7-yard line, and stuff like that. As long as nobody else. I mean, if I was the only one there. And normally, most of the time, I was the only one there. Because I've told people this before when I'm in the morning chat. They go, "What, did you go shooting over the weekend?" every Monday they ask me, and every Monday I tell them no, I don't go shooting at the weekends. Even though my range is never used here in Indiana, it's a habit I got into. Is I always didn't shoot on Saturdays and Sundays. I left that for the working man who worked Monday to Friday, and the weekends was the only time he could go. When I can go Monday to Friday anytime I want, you know. So that's just, as I said, the second time I'm saying it tonight, I'm just a good guy all around, you know. But you know, but anyway, on my range there, then the clubhouse, they had when they, you know, renovated it and stuff, they put the front door was, you had to climb up 3 steps to get into the door, because it had a sort of like a porch across the front that you could sit down with rocking chairs there and BS all afternoon if you wanted. But the back door, they had a ramp, so like you could use that. So that was pretty good. What now, Squib? I know I said you're almost normal, you know. But any ranges that you go to, have you noticed that they're handicap accessible or not?
So when it's open, my state-owned and operated shooting range has handicapped accessible parking. You can drive right through the parking lot, right up a ramp, right to handicap-only parking spaces right on the 10-yard line. And that was paid for by the NRA, the evil, oh my goodness, we can't support them NRA, not by the state. Not at all by the state. And even though I don't use it because I don't have a handicap sticker and, you know, whatever, I do see people from time to time pull up there, they park there, and you have access to the 10-yard range. The next nearest range would be the 100, then the 50, then the 25. So the 25 would be the furthest for you to walk to. Now, the archery, the axe throwing, and the shotgun ranges, you don't have to go uphill to. They're accessible from the parking lot, and you can park on the edge of any corner of the parking lot and get to those. But for the regular gun range, you can pull right up to the 10-yard line, and it's a real nice thing that I think was done.
That is. That is. That's not the country club that you had in your video.
No, that is a state-owned and operated range as well, but no. I don't go over to that side of town because the traffic there is so bad. Now, right now it isn't because nobody has any place to go or any job to go to, but the traffic over there is so bad that it just ain't worth it. That actually used to be a nice part of town. It was really rural. It was, you know, back in the 80s, I was thinking I might want to, you know, get some land out here, and this might be where I want to retire to. And then it just exploded with new housing developments, and they never updated the roads to really keep up with it. So I just stay away from there in general. It's not a bad neighborhood, even though I don't fit in because I'm a little bit too blue collar. But my range is operated by the same department and everything else. But the NRA funded putting restrooms in there and putting in handicap parking and adding additional shooting stations.
Yeah, I mean, at that gun club I belong to in Rhode Island, the NRA paid for all brand new targets and stuff, you know, for the range, because we hosted the Boy Scouts there every year. Because the Boy Scouts there still done shooting badges or whatever, so they always used to come out to that range, and the NRA paid for all new still targets and stuff. So, you know, that's the side of the NRA I like. The political side is the one I have problems with. So, all right, who haven't we asked? Patriot. Your range handicap accessible? I know you use it, but you have trouble getting in and out?
No, like I said, the old part they have redone, and I believe they paved everything because they were reworking it. I believe it was the end of last summer. But like the indoor and stuff, that's all brand new. The whole building's brand new, so it's all one layer. I don't think there's even, you know, I'm sure there's kick plates or something, but there's no steps or anything. And I believe going into the, you know, you have that little airlock or whatever, and you just turn 90 degrees and go through the next door. But I think they're full-size doors. So that kind of stuff shouldn't be a
Oh,
problem.
yeah,
I don't know how the tables are. I know you got you got your cable systems and stuff, but I don't know if maybe the ones on the end maybe are shorter. I've never noticed it. I always go to the same spot, so
yeah,
they keep me way at the end because they don't they're scared of me.
Yeah, now talking about equal range, that's the one problem I had. Was you come through the one door, which was no problem. Then you said you go, as you said, it's sort of like a little airlock room. Then you go to the next one. If the red light was on, that means every lane was used and you couldn't go in. You had to wait. But anyway, once you got that door, it was a heavy steel door, and with my hands, I could grab hold of the knob and pull it. But then I sort of have to stick my foot in there to keep it there and get my elbow in and sort of pull the door open. If the range guy was there, which there normally was two of them, would see me, he would come over and hold the door open for me. So it wasn't that bad, really. So, okay, New York Outcast. I know you go to a little private range of yours, but any of the ones you actually go to that you have to pay and everything, are they handicapped accessible as far as you know?
The one I used to be a member of here, I guess you could say, yeah, you could get in there, but they didn't have any wider stalls. So I'm not sure, depending on your needs, if it would be, adequate for somebody in a chair or something. The stalls, if I remember correctly, were probably 2 to 3 feet wide. So I'm not sure if they're, if that would work out for somebody. So, and they're quite tall as well. So, probably not, but I assume depending on what your condition is, it might have been okay. Other than that, as you know, yeah, but where I shoot now, not really. If it was legal to shoot from your vehicle off a road, then maybe, but, other than that, you're kind of trucking through some mud and stuff, so uneven ground.
Yeah. Now my little scooter, I mean, it will go through a little bit of mud and gravel and stuff, but not a great deal. So I mean, they go through like during the summer across gravel and grass, no problem whatsoever. There you go. But as I said, when I use the outdoor one, I would drive up to whatever. If I was normally I done it. I went between 10 and 15 yards is where I normally shoot from, and I'll just pull my truck up there, and normally that far I can walk to the target. If I went and drove back to the 25 yard, then I would use my scooter to drive up to the targets. But I used to shoot a lot of the targets. It was a long thing, had 6 targets on it that fell down and had a rope. You could pull them back up. So that's what I would use if I shot further than 10 yards. I would shoot at that and use the thing. But what I would do with my scooter when I got there is I always took paint cans with me. And I would spray every still target there, whether I was using it or not, because every one of them seemed to be blasted paint clean, So I would spray them all either white or red. It depends what paint I had, what I bought cheap at Walmart at the time. So that's what I used to do. It was part of my. I used to do that as sort of like a thank you for letting me. Be able to drive right up to where I wanted to go. So, I remember one time it had rained. It had rained for, I don't know, like a week straight there in Rhode Island. And I drove into the range, and my truck just sunk in the mud. I had to put it in 4-wheel low just to get out of the damn thing. And, I thought, well, so I managed to maneuver it, got it to where I wanted it. And I said, oh, this doesn't look too bad. The ground, I opened my door, and I normally open the door, then I just slide out. Well, I slid out, and I tell you, I saw the ground looked firm. My feet hit that, and I sunk up to my shins. Oh, I almost lost my shoes that day trying to get my feet back in the truck. But that's it. Mind you, we're almost out of time here. I haven't done the question for what you call it, the for Saturday's quiz. I think I've only got one entry right now, so I better mention the question I had. Where is it? Hang on, I forgot to open the program, so then I keep it on. Here we go. It's loaded. Come on. There we go. Okay, here was the question. To do with General George Custer. When at the Battle of the Little Bighorn, I want to know what gun he was carrying, the make and model. Now, I got this off the internet. I don't know if it's correct or not, but this is what I'm using for my answer. And to make it easier, he had a pair of them, and he gave one to his brother Tom. So I want to know what the make and model of the firearm that he was carrying into that battle with the Little Bighorn. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com by 12 noon Saturday with the answer. So there you go. Hey, Sean Bonner, he's showing up. How you doing, Sean? He's in the chat there. So that's it. All right. Anything else? Anybody got anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I can stay for a little bit longer if you want. I don't have to.
I've got one.
Okay.
I've got that 22 TCM R9 C, I think it's called. It's kind of like a neck down, like the 5.7. It's kind of a rifle looking cartridge that goes in a normal pistol. I've just seen if anybody's seen them. I bought a Glock barrel for one, and you just drop in the Glock barrel, put in the specialized spring for it, and it works perfect. Ammo's pretty cheap. You buy 50 rounds for $17. It's a fun round to shoot, a lot of fireball, and it gets up to 2,200 feet per second.
Wow. Have you made a video about it?
No, I will, though.
Yeah. That does sound pretty good. So, all right. Anybody else got any questions on what he was just talking about? No? No. Quiet crowd tonight. So, Sean Ponnery, what do you say? 22 TMC equal 2.57 SIG. So modern day Tokarev round, basically, is what he's saying.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks a lot like it, except smaller.
Yeah. Sean's pretty knowledgeable on that stuff, but I don't tell him that too much because he's in the morning chats. He's so you tell him that he knows your shit and he gets big headed on you. You know. So we try to keep him down in place. You know. So all right. And by the way, Rick, do you want the rifle or pistol answer? Oh, for my quiz, it's the pistol I'm talking about on my quiz. The pistol is what I'm talking about. So, all right, we've got nothing else. I'm gonna say goodbye here in a second, and and do my grilled cheese sandwiches, I think. All right. Oh, I mean, one thing, just for you guys, I'll say it real quick before I say goodbye because you guys leave so fast. You guys when I say goodbye and we're off air, you don't have to drop out because we chat for another 5 minutes or so after the show's over, like we do at the beginning. So just wanted to mention that. Anyway, I want to say thank you. Well, no, let's go through the thing and do our shout outs and plugs or whatever. You got anything there, Well Armed?
Yeah, I plan on doing a comparison video. I want to do a comparison with um, the Stock 3 and the new SAR 12 K Sport.
Okay. All right. How about you, Guns and Barbecue?
I just want to mention to everybody, if you're in Pennsylvania, we're supposed to be having a two-way rally on June 8th. So if you can get to it, please get there, show your support.
We're at in Pennsylvania.
I believe it's down at the Capitol in Harrisburg.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Squib, you got anything?
Nah.
All right. Patriot in the Dark, how about you?
The only thing I'll mention is if you got kids around, make sure you're talking to them. We in our local area, we lost 2 in the last 2 weeks to suicide in the middle school. So, talk to them, keep an eye on them. Some kids, parents are whatever, jackwagons, don't pay attention to them and stuff, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, obviously, but just keep your eyes open, talk to people.
I would too, because being stuck indoors and stuff, it could be a unhealthy family unit too, which might not help the situation any, So, all right, New York Outcast, you got anything?
No, just thanks for having me, and take care, everybody.
All right, I want to say thanks for the audience for showing up on Wednesday like you do. I really appreciate it when you all come here like you do. And I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. But I do have a question for everybody. Think about this, and you can let me know on Saturday. Last year, during the summer, I started it before now, but normally from Memorial Day to Labor Day, I went bi-weekly on my Saturday show because it's so quiet and very little people around because they're out doing stuff, which I don't blame them. Or should I do it, or do you want me to keep doing it every week? And if I got something to do, I'll give you notice that I won't be having a show. So, anyway. Oh, Rich White says the Harrisburg rally was canceled according to Black Cat Outdoors. So, you might want to check.
Oh, crap. I didn't hear that. Y'all have to. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. All right. So, I want to say thanks for being here, everybody. And I will see you Saturday at 3 p.m. So, good night, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be.
Good night, Sabrina.